Dangal greetings, I'm Juliana Bigay, and I will be presenting the dentist and client class from the clinic management system. Starting with the dentist class, it basically represents the dentist working at the clinic. Each dentist has important details like their ID, name, address, contact number, and their commission rate, which tracks how much they earn from services. They also have a list of services. There are methods like get commission rate and set service to manage this information. The cool part is the relationships. A dentist can offer multiple services, so there's a one-to-many relationship between the dentist and service classes. On top of that, since one dentist can serve many clients over time, there's also a one-to-many relationship with the transaction class. Client class which represents the patients. Just like the dentist, a client has their own ID, name, address, and contact number. There are methods to get and update this information too. Clients also have a one-to-many relationship with the transaction class because they might return for different treatments over time. Overall, these two classes work together to keep track of both the dentist and the clients. The relationships make it easy to manage appointments, track services, and ensure the clinic runs smoothly.
The service class is a simple data class that represents a specific service offered by the clinic. It stores two key attributes: the service type, which is a string describing the type of service, and price, which is a double representing the cost of that service. The service class provides methods to access these attributes. The get service type returns the type of service, and get price returns the price. The transaction class represents a single interaction between a client and a dentist, capturing the services performed during that interaction. It holds three key attributes: a client object representing the client receiving the services, the dentist, a dentist object representing the dentist providing the services, and services, a list of service objects representing the services performed during the transaction. The transaction class provides methods to access these attributes. The getClient returns the client associated with the transaction. GetDentist returns the dentist, and GetServices returns the list of services. And for good measure, the transaction class has a handy calculate total cost method. This method takes all the service objects in the services list and adds up their prices, giving you the total cost of that transaction.
The clinic management system class uses aggregation. It has a relationship to manage instances of dentist, client, service, and transaction. It is a one-to-many relationship. One system manages many of each other class. The system's methods handle adding, updating, archiving, and displaying data for each of these classes. For example, the add dentist adds a new dentist object to the system's list of dentists, and display transactions shows all transactions record. The helper methods like getValidInteger ensure data integrity. The runSystem method likely controls the main program flow, and submenus such as Dentist Management Submenu, Client Management Submenu manage specific aspects of the clinic. The function of main class is to just execute the system.
So for the run system method is like the main controller of program guiding users through different options to manage data, perform tasks, and view records in a straightforward way, making it easy to interact with the system features.
The add transaction method, which allows us to create a transaction by linking a client, a dentist, and selected services. This method, the process starts by checking if there are any available clients or dentists. If either list is empty, the system displays an error message. This prevents the user from proceeding without the necessary records. Next, the system displays a list of active clients and prompts the user to select one by entering a number. If the input is invalid, an error message appears, and the user is asked to re-enter a valid number. The same process happens for selecting a dentist. However, if the chosen dentist is archived, the system stops the process and displays this dentist is archived and cannot be used for new transactions. Once a valid dentist is selected, the system lists the services they offer. The user can add multiple services but can select the same service twice. If they if they try, the system warns them that this service has already been selected. Please choose a different service. The user can continue adding services until they enter 0 to finish. Before finalizing, the system checks for duplicate transactions. If an identical transaction exists, it prevents duplication with the message. Otherwise, a new transaction is created, stored in a list, and the system confirms. This method ensures smooth error-free transaction management by validating user input, preventing redundancy, and maintaining data integrity.
This method display transactions presents a clear view of all data transactions, both active and archived. It starts by checking if there are any transactions at all. If not, it prints no transactions recorded and stops. If there are transactions, it first displays the active transactions. It formats a table showing the dentist name and ID and the client's name and ID. It only includes transactions where both the dentist and client are currently active. Then it shows the services provided and total payment for these active transactions. Next, it displays the archived transactions showing the same details but for past transactions. Again, it shows the services provided and total payment for these archived transactions. To do this, it uses two helper methods: find client by ID in all lists, which finds a client by ID across all client lists, and get services list, a string, which formats the list of services for display. In short, this method provides a detailed, organized summary of all dental transactions, helping track current and past activities.
The add dentist method is designed to add a new dentist to our system. It starts by incrementing the dentist count and generating a unique ID. The user is prompted to enter the dentist names, address, contact number, and commission rate. A crucial part of this method is the duplicate check. Before adding a new dentist, we look through the existing list of dentists to ensure that no two dentists have the same name. If a duplicate is found, a message is displayed, and the method exits without adding the new dentist. Next, the user can select the services that the dentist will offer. Once all information is collected and validated, the new dentist is added to the list and a success message is displayed. Moving on to the archive dentist method, this functionality allows us to mark a dentist as archived. This is important for maintaining a clean and organized list of active dentists while still keeping their data accessible. The method first checks if there are any dentists available to archive. If the list is empty, a message is displayed. If there are dentists, the user is prompted to select one from the list. Once a dentist is selected, we check for any transactions associated with that dentist and move them to an archived transaction list. Finally, the selected dentist is removed from the active list and added to the archive list, with a confirmation message displayed to the user.
When updating a dentist, update dentist method is called. So firstly, it checks if there are any dentists available. If none exists, it simply tells us and exists. So otherwise, it displays a list of all dentists showing their ID and name. So the user is then asked to enter the number of the dentist they want to update.
If they enter an invalid number, the process stops there. Once a valid dentist is selected, a menu appears with different update options. Update name, it asks for a new name and updates it. Update address takes a new address input and saves it. Update contact number ensures the input is 11 digits before updating. Update commission rate asks for a valid number and updates the commission. Modify services calls another method, which is modify services to manage the services. So exit ends the update process. So if the user selects an invalid option, they'll be prompted again until they enter a valid number. Managing dentist services calls the modify services method. So this method lets us change the services a dentist provides. So it first lists all the current services. If no services exist, it informs the user. So the menu gives two choices. Adds a new service, enables to add a new service which gets added to the list. An exit option is also available to return to the main menu. The input is always validated to prevent errors. So this approach ensures that dentist records remain accurate and up-to-date while providing a clear and user-friendly way to manage their services dynamically.
And the next is the add client method. This is used to register a new client in the system. It collects and validates client details, assigns a unique client ID, and saves the client information in a list. First, we increment the client count. Every time a new client is added, we increase the client count variable. This ensures that each client gets a unique number. Next, the client ID follows the format current year and the 4-digit number that increments with each new client, example 001. Then, the system asks the user to enter a client name. The getValidName method ensures that the name contains only letters and the name is not empty. Next, the system asks for the client's contact number. The getValidContactNumber method checks if the input is number, ensuring only number are entered. Then, the user asks to enter their address, which is stored as a full string. Unlike names or numbers, addresses can contain various characters, so we simply capture the input as it is. Next is a new client object is created with the collected details and added to the client list. Finally, the system prints a confirmation message showing the assigned client ID. This lets the user know that the client has been added successfully. Next, the archive client method is used to remove an inactive client from the active list and move the transaction to an archive. First, before proceeding, the system checks if there are any clients available. If the client's list is empty, it prints no client available to archive and exit the method. If there are clients available, the system displayed a numbered list of all active clients. Each client is listed with their client ID and name so that the user can select which one to archive. Next, the user asks to enter the number of the client they want to archive. The getValidInteger method ensures that the input is a valid number. Then, the selected client is retrieved from the client's list. Since lists in the Java start at index 0, we use client index -1 to get the correct client. The system goes through all transactions and checks if they belong to the selected client. If a match is found, the transaction is moved to archive client's transaction and then removed from the active list. Since removing an item shifts the list, we use I negative to adjust the index and avoid skipping any transactions.
In the system, if you want to update the client, you need to choose who client want to update. And after you choose the client, the next is the information of the client. First is update name. Allows the user to enter new name of the client. the system will replace the old name with the new one. And the second, update contact number, prompt the user to enter a new number which will replace the existing one. And the third, update address, lets the user input a new address, updating the client record accordingly. In the last fourth, exit, closes the update process without making further changes.